All right, so we have another problem where we're going to multiply our rational numbers and we're also going to write it in its simplest form. So, first off, I know that we're going to need to keep it in its fraction form. They gave me a clue here saying write it in its simplest form, but I am going to show you why that is so. So, remember that if you're looking at the fractional piece, you can tell if they are terminating or repeating. So, 1/5 I know is a terminating. That's going to be zero point 0.2, right? So this is going to be a terminating decimal. Let's look and see what happens with the 114. So 1 divided by 14. Yeah, so this is a repeating decimal. So notice that we have 0 0.0714285, and then we start to see the repeat starting here. So 71, which we saw here. So this is a repeating decimal. This tells me that we need to keep them all in fraction form. So what I'm going to do first is rewrite my problem down here. So I'm going to write -3 and 1/5. Um, and I am going to convert this into an improper fraction. Right now it's in mixed form. So I'm going to turn it into an improper fraction. Remember to do that. You think about Texas, right? So we're going to start from the bottom and work our way to the top. And what we get is 5 times 3. That gives me 15. 15 plus 1 gives me 16. So that is going to be 16 over 5. Remember to keep your negative sign. Okay. Now we're going to multiply that by 1 and 114. So let's see what happens with that 1 and 114. So remember, we're going to use Texas on that one as well. So Texas. All right. And so again, we're going to start from the bottom, work our way to the top. So 14 times 1 gives me 14. 14 plus 1 gives me 15. So that is going to be 15 over 14. And we are multiplying that. And that was a positive. All right. So now what we need to do is just multiply across. But before we do that, remember to simplify our problem, you want to see if you can divide out any common factors. So let me look at that and see what we have. Well, I see 5 and 15. I know that I can divide both of those by 5. So let's try the 15. 15 divided by 5 gives me 3. So that becomes a 3. 5 divided by 5 gives me 1. So that becomes a 1, right? And then I'm going to look at the other two numbers and see if I can take anything out of there, right? So I'm going to take 16 and 14. I see that both of them are even numbers. So I'm going to try twos first. Let's see if twos is enough. Oh, sorry. That's not the right way. We're going to divide them by twos, right? So what I'm saying is 16 divided by 2 gives me 8. So this becomes 8. And then 14 divided by 2 gives me 7. So this becomes a 7. Okay. Now we can just multiply across and see what we get. So we've got 8 times 3. That gives me 24. We have 1 times 7. That gives me 7. Now look at your signs and see what happens. Do we have a positive or a negative? So we had one negative and one positive, right? So a negative and a positive becomes a negative. So your answer should be 24 sevenths, right? Negative 24 sevenths. What I also notice is that we have it in improper form. Remember, it's not correct for us to leave it in that way. We want to make sure that our denominator is always larger than the numerator, right? And so I know that there's a whole number sitting inside of there. So I'm going to keep my negative sign. That's first. And then we're looking to see how many groups of 7 can I pull out of 24. Well, I can pull out 3 of those, right? So 3 sets of 7. And remember, we're just multiplying. Same thing. So this is as if we were multiplying and then we're going to add, right? So 3 times 7 gives me 21. How many more do I need to get back to 24? So you need 3 more, right? So your answer then is going to be negative 3 and 3/7. So that is your answer. And here was our problem.